What's going on, everyone? We have a special nighttime edition, after dark edition of Bat Reacts. It's currently almost 9 o'clock here, and there's a video that just recently came out. It's by Miyamoto, and it explains the entire Super Mario 64 Iceberg. Basically what this is a photo of an iceberg, and it has all the different theories and kind of like ideas centered around Mario 64. Like, you know, you got the okay ones, and you got the ones that are a little bit more fucked and insane, like, you know, the Wario apparition in this July 29th, 1995 bill that is all over the fucking place. Also, the fact that every copy of Mario 64 was personalized, so in a way, I guess this is part 3 of my every copy of Mario 64's personalized thing. There's even a fucking video by Skybox right here, a 9-minute video, if you will. Might watch that at some point, along with more of the Mario 64 personalized stuff if I can find it. If you guys want to send me shit, you can go ahead and the Discord server. Drop that link down below. And yeah. Let's hear this guy's explanation. Miyamoto's, him explaining the Super Mario 64 Iceberg.
You want fun?
Wario show you fun.
Okay, I'm gonna be real with you. I'm not gonna waste your time with the stupidly long intro.
Yeah.
You can probably understand how these iceberg images work,
They do.
and you definitely know what Mario 64 is.
Yep, I do.
The only thing I want to explain before we get into it is in the bottom left, I'm gonna have a little health meter corresponding to how confident I am in my explanation of whatever thing I'm talking about.
Okay.
Full health is I 100% know exactly what I'm talking about, and I'm fully confident that it's accurate.
But then even
and
lower.
0 health means it's just a shot in the dark, and I have no idea what I'm talking about. So let's just jump right into it.
Let's go! The above ground.
2401.
Oh, this one. This one. This one was everywhere. This one was literally everywhere. I don't know the specifics of it. All I know is that there was this theory that Luigi is in Mario 64 somehow, and you can unlock him, and the key to it was what was written on this fountain in the back of the castle, L is real 2401. Crazy theory, I know, but it's like, let's see how this guy explains it.
This is a classic, famous
classic
rumor relating to the plaque in the castle courtyard
what
that
I just said.
The star above it.
Yep.
Some people think that this plaque says L is real 2401, hinting at maybe Luigi being in the game, or the release date of Paper Mario in North
Even though it came out in 2501.
In reality, this plaque doesn't really say anything. The texture is only 32 by 32 pixels, so even extracting it from the game, you can't really make out what it says. If I had to guess, I would say it says Eternal Star, but again, it probably just says nothing.
Yeah, probably just
Space
gibberish.
World 95 beta.
Oh, this.
Space World was sort of a public exhibition sort of thing, where Nintendo
I've seen
would
this.
show off upcoming video games. And of course, Mario 64 was shown at Space World 1995, 1 year before it was eventually released. This is one of the most famous...
1995. Keep that in mind, because that will be later on when we get to the real meat and potatoes of the underside of this iceberg.
Famous video game betas out there, with tons of footage of it existing around the internet, and that's probably why it's on the top level of this iceberg. Whomp's Fortress Tower 1-up.
What?
In Whomp's Fortress, if you punch the back of the tower that appears after you've defeated King Whomp, there will be a 1-up. Most players wouldn't probably think to punch it on their first playthrough.
Okay, so that's
in terms
interesting.
Of obscure secrets, it's paradoxically pretty well known.
Yeah, that is pretty obscure.
Bob-on Battlefield Bridge hanging.
Bridge hanging?
On the underside of this bridge in Bob-on Battlefield, you can hang to it like any of the other climbable ceilings. There's pretty much no reason to actually do this, which is why it's kind of obscure.
Probably a weird coding thing.
Half A-presses and parallel universes.
We know about this.
Now, I could make a stupid, tired joke at the expense of Pan and Koek or TJ and Ryoshi.
First, we have to talk about parallel universes.
By now. So, I'm just gonna basically summarize some of the stuff that's in the video.
Summarize the entire video.
Honestly, Hennen does such a better job at explaining.
He does.
Than I ever could.
He does, really.
Basically, a parallel universe is
he explains the entire thing
of any
in like 25 minutes. Insane.
That exists way out in the distance relative to the regular level. Normally, in a casual playthrough, you would never ever be able to access these, and these are only useful in terms of things like the 0 A-presses runs.
Well, tasks.
Half A-presses are basically just a notation used in isolation.
tasks also use parallel
what
universes for stuff.
Describes in his video is that in Watch for Rolling Rocks, he does the entirety of that star with the
holding A
held
down.
So he notes it as 0.5 A-presses.
Yeah, it's half an
but
A-press.
He says in a full game run that it would just be counted as 1 A-press.
Yeah, round up.
People in the comments section seem to not understand this to this day.
Actually, it's not half an A-press, no, it's 2/3 of an A-press.
The button is not analog. You can't have half an A-press.
I mean,
whereas
you kinda can.
It specifically says it only exists in isolation of that specific star.
Yeah, it's hold it down and.
Coin /Goomba.
Oh yeah, there's impossible coins everywhere.
Pen and Koek topic.
There's impossible coins everywhere.
Has a few coins that are not collectible.
Yeah, there's impossible coins everywhere.
In Tiny Huge Island because
coins where you just can't get it
underneath part of the level.
Which means that if you're going for an all coins run, you would not be able to go for an all coins run because there are coins that you just can't get, and it's like, why did they code it like this? I don't understand.
And in the final Bowser level, there is a triad of Goombas, and one of them spawns where there is no ground, so he appears at the death barrier, and his coin cannot be collected.
Yeah.
Again, just watch the video
impossible coins
put out on this that he did.
Yeah, impossible coins. Let's get down to the
unused text.
Ooh?
There's a piece of text within the game that goes unused that says,
"You're mine now. I'll pass right through this wall. Can you do that?"
You can make NPCs say this extremely easily, but it's
when wrong hacking,
when unused. Maybe the Boom the Castle would have said this.
Maybe.
When it comes to things like this, there's not much we can do but speculate.
Yeah, it's like, that's why it's not really.
Become his lunch.
What?
In Hazy Maze Cave, there's a sign that says, "A gentle sea dragon lives here.
Okay, don't become his lunch.
Make him lower his head. Don't become his lunch." The first two sentences make sense, but the last
the
sentence
third one
seems
doesn't.
to contradict
it's
the
like,
first one.
bruh.
Dory can't even harm you in this game.
Yeah, it's like,
honestly,
why?
It's probably just the translators having some fun.
Yeah, so
the story might look a bit scary to a small child.
Yeah, let's have some fun here with the translations.
The mirror room in the upstairs floor of the castle is where Snowman's Land is accessed.
Yes, it
but
is.
Many players naturally want to go through or behind the mirror. There actually is
it's not like a reflective,
but no way to access it other than maybe backwards long jumping.
Yeah.
In the DS remake, you actually have to enter the mirror to find Wario as well as the secret star.
You do, yes.
Dancing flowers. Mario 64 has a few weather effects, such as snow, as well as lava bubbles in Lethal Lava Land and Bowser in the Fire Sea.
Yeah.
The lava bubbles basically stick to the floor, or in this case the lava, and play their bubbling animation.
Yes, they do.
There exists a similar effect in which flowers will stick to the floor and play a dancing animation. Volcano.
Is that unused?
A bunch of cubes are just thrown about near the star platform inside the Lethal Lava Land volcano.
Yeah, they are.
They're probably just there for decoration. But,
you can't grab them.
No, they're on this image anyway.
Yeah, you can't. You can't grab them.
Secret aquarium. I
don't
know why this one is on.
Yeah, I mean,
you literally need to go there to get all 120
Yeah,
stars.
that's required to get 120
stars.
stars.
You can long jump into these fish tanks, but there isn't anything there. Ghoul Metal.
Ghoul Metal.
In Big Boo's Haunt, there's a signpost that says, "You don't stand a ghost of a chance in this house. If you walk out of here, you deserve
Ghoul Metal."
Huh?
This is literally just a pun on the word gold metal.
Yeah, it's
yellow cap switch.
Pun. Yellow cap switch.
The 3 cap switches in the game, the red, the green, and the blue one, are all actually the same object, but each color switch just has a different parameter set.
Yeah.
There does exist a 4th yellow switch in the game, much like the ones from Super Mario World, and would have unlocked
unused.
supercells. Broken paintings.
Unused.
There are several paintings in the upper floor of
Yeah,
the
which you
castle
just
that
can't
don't
access.
act as level warps.
Yeah, you just
Some
can't
of which
access.
are direct copies of existing paintings on other floors.
Yeah.
If you ask me, though, it's just Nintendo being resourceful with their textures.
Yeah,
and
it's like,
chose to
oh,
give the
hey,
upstairs
you know,
walls
let's
some
show.
more flair.
Yeah, let's show all
HMC
this stuff.
alcove.
The
There are a
alcove
few
nation
little
thing.
ledges in the toxic maze that don't lead out of the maze. Presumably, they exist as a means of letting players breathe for a bit.
Yeah,
and without their health
it's
drained
like
as they navigate
it's probably
the
like a safety net thing.
E.T. in the pyramid.
Huh?
The hieroglyphs in the shifting
E.T.?
sandland pyramid have the letters E.T. on the right side.
Interesting.
Ignoring the conspiracy of aliens built the pyramids, this was either just a random bit of humor snuck in, or the letters were placed there at random by the Japanese texture artist.
Probably
without any thought of
humor.
their
No,
significance.
it's probably just random text.
Jolly Roger Bay Vanishing Fog.
Oh?
This one is interesting. When you first enter Jolly Roger Bay, there's a subtle fog that rests
There
above
is.
the water, and the skybox has a sort of yellow-green hue to it.
There it is.
After collecting the first star, it goes away forever and
Huh.
doesn't come back even if you
That's
select
weird.
star 1 again.
That's weird.
You have to start a new file just to see it again.
Why does it only show on
It's
Star 1?
honestly very overlooked and not as pronounced as the other details in levels, such as the
kinda
Womp's
weird.
Fortress Pyramid appearing, or the
This thing
Big
is.
Dud.
Yeah, that's
After
tower,
defeating
not a
King
pyramid.
Babam, one of the pink bob-ombs will
the
say,
big dud.
"Thank you, Mario. The Big
Big
Babam
bomb
is nothing but a big dud."
now.
Additionally, the
Huh.
pit that previously only had 2 steel balls rolling around it has 3 in it, and it'll only go back
Yeah,
down
no,
to
it has
having
3.
2 if you select the first star and fight King Babam.
That's
again.
weird.
Yoshi's saddle. In every official picture of Yoshi, the saddle or shell on his back has a white outline.
It does.
In Super Mario 64,
doesn't,
it is
though.
entirely red.
Yeah.
Even stranger is that the rim of the
That's a bit
saddle
weird.
is actually modeled, but colored red instead of white.
Yeah, that's a bit
Yoshi's
weird.
polygons are colored by the game itself, and the only textures he uses are for his eyes.
And
Bug
nose.
fire
Yeah.
texture.
Bug fire
When
texture.
Mario is burned, the smoke textures that spawn behind him are meant to look different than the ones shown in game.
Yeah.
It's extremely subtle, and unless it's been pointed out to you, you'd assume that's how it was intended to look.
Oh well, that's not how it's intended
Unagi's
to look.
tunnel. In Jolly
Can you
Roger
get in that
Bay,
tunnel?
Unagi the eel has a small
Yeah, can you
hole
get in
that
the
he
tunnel?
emerges from. There's actually a tunnel behind it that is fully modeled, but Mario has no way of accessing it.
Why would they
And it's
fully model
unlikely
if you can't
that
get
a
into
normal
it?
player would even see it.
Yeah, why would you?
Blarg. Blargs are enemies that appeared in Super Mario World, and
Yeah,
a couple
those-
other Mario
those
games
fire
before Super Mario
dragons.
64 would be released.
Fire dragon?
An untextured model of a Blarg
Oh!
exists in Super Mario 64.
Blarg
along with a
was
few
in
animations, and it
SM64.
can be reinserted into Lethal Lava Land with a simple code.
Yeah, with action play
Please
codes.
walk quietly in the hallway is a rather obscure sign that exists
That's
on the
obscure,
upper floor
yeah.
of the castle. No idea what this one means.
Yeah, it's,
Mips
yeah.
throwing. The rabbit
Mips
that
throwing.
appears in the castle can't be thrown normally, but he can
Yeah.
be thrown underwater. This is only possible
Why?
if you clip through a door and bring Mips into the room with the 2 pillars. A 1996 developer interview also showed
At
that
first
Mario
when I
was
was
able to throw Mips by the ears earlier on in development.
Wow.
JRB box.
Okay, the
This
box
box
is
on the Jolly
JRB.
Roger Bay ship has some weird collision on it.
It
and it
does.
can do weird amounts of
Oh,
damage to you
yeah, it
if
does.
you just kind of
Huh.
look at it wrong. It's
That's
really
weird.
just such a strange object.
Probably
because
collision
most
being
players will just
weird.
walk right past it without even thinking.
Yeah, it's probably collision being
and
weird on that
it
box.
doesn't really pose much of a challenge even for new players.
Probably not much
Womp
of a
King turns
issue.
into the castle. King Womp
Turns into the
complains that
castle.
womps are used to build things, and after he dies, a castle is built where he once was.
Yeah.
If you want to be more morbid, maybe they used his body to lay the foundational
Maybe.
brickwork.
That's more weird though. Oh, we're getting down to the deeper ones. Zelda 64 badasses from Wet Dry World.
Wet Dry World Skybox.
Oh?
Wet Dry World is a unique level in a couple of ways, and
It has
one of
a
the few
cool
where the
skybox.
Skybox is not shared with any other level in the
Yes,
game.
a weird
According to
skybox.
a tweet from Super Mario Broth,
It's a
it's an
different
edited
skybox.
photo of Casares in
Huh.
space. This also relates to the skyboxes are photographs point on these.
Yeah, skybox of the photographs.
Debug menu names.
Oh?
By inputting a specific cheat code, you can
Oh yeah,
access
those
the
debug
hidden
menus.
level select
Yeah.
in Mario 64. This level
Level
select
select.
contains a beta version of the title screen, as well as a bunch of different names.
Yeah, it's
for
like
all of the
beta
levels.
versions of
Mainly, these are
the-
just shortened
yeah.
versions and or different names of all
Dry
the
World,
existing
Clock Tower,
levels.
Rainbow Cruise,
Anyone
yeah,
who's
Hoarding
coded
Mini.
anything will tell you that using shorthands for names of things is extremely
Her
common.
design is easy to
True
make out.
locations of the painting worlds.
What?
Like with most video games, we rarely stop to think such benign questions as, I wonder where this specific
Yeah,
level
where are they
is in the Mario
stored?
universe. However, Womp's Fortress returning in Mario Galaxy 2 implies that the paintings are sending Mario to real locations instead of him just literally entering a world that only exists within that painting.
Huh.
For example, if the painting in Whomp's Fortress was destroyed, Whomp's Fortress would still exist independent of it, and the same could be said for any of the other painting worlds. Tiny Huge Island also—
That's interesting. That is super interesting.
Also seems to be similar to the giant land from Super Mario Bros. 3, specifically the one level where you can change between the big and the small version.
Yeah, another
and
time.
Tall Mountain may harken back to the athletic levels from the first Super Mario Bros.
Maybe.
I guess I should also just go over Tower of the Wing Cap True Location here.
Tower of the Wing Cap True Location.
That's also on the same level of the iceberg. Tower of the Wing Cap has buildings nearby, which implies that they are connected to a piece of land far below. But of course, we don't know anything about the land down there. Haunted dirt texture.
Haunted dirt texture.
Some people claim to see a face in this dirt texture in Bob on Battlefield, but I don't see it.
I don't see it.
Maybe the iceberg image is referring to a completely different dirt texture, but
yeah,
honestly, if you guys see anything, please let me know.
Yeah, I don't see a face.
Straight up don't notice anything.
I don't see a face. I don't know what you have smoking, but I don't see a face.
Lethal Lava Land Painting Fireball.
Painting Fireball?
While there's no shortage of fire in Lethal Lava Land, none of the fireballs in the game have faces.
Yeah, none of them.
It does closely resemble the fireballs that rain down on Mario in the final battle in Super Mario World.
Maybe it's a reference to SMW then.
Island in the distance. In the Bob on Battlefield Skybox, there are a few islands way out there. Obviously inaccessible since they're just part of the sky texture. Mario enters Wet Dry World early in the Got Milk commercial. I don't think that this is true, because in the Got Milk commercial, Mario has 37 stars.
He does.
And while Wet Dry World is in the upper floor of the castle, getting to the second Bowser level only requires 30 stars to open the door, as well as the 1 star that's required.
So it's not weird.
In Dire Docks.
It's not weird.
So it's entirely possible that
you
can
get
upstairs with only 31 stars.
Come on, guys. Come on. You're not gonna look at the star count enough to figure, maybe they could have gotten to Wet Dry World, but oh wait, we don't see the star count, so we're just gonna assume that it's weird because they can't. Even though he has 30,000 stars, so he totally can. Oops.
Let alone 37.
Yeah.
Zelda 64 beta assets in Wet Dry World. Ocarina of Time, known as Zelda 64 earlier on, was in development around the same time as Super Mario 64.
Yes, it was.
And the two series just generally have a lot of shared history.
They do.
As being two of Nintendo's biggest. A few screenshots of the Zelda 64 beta kind of resemble Mario 64.
Yeah, that
specifically
that does.
World. And these doors are almost the exact
Yeah, that does.
There's also
maybe they use some assets in each of the games. You know?
Famous Space World 95 video of Zelda 64, where a very different looking Link is fighting a copy of himself with none other than Metal Mario's texture.
Yeah, that's Metal Mario's texture.
Bob-omb Village.
Easy.
I think the iceberg image is referring to this image, which depicts a bunch of bob-ombs in an empty field next to some unknown figure. In the Nintendo 64 development kit, there apparently existed a man with a sombrero, so this could just be him.
Mr. Sombrero Man.
To think of it, it is kind of weird how Mario is the only human to set foot in any of the levels. Secret Slide Dimensional Rift.
Dimensional Rift.
Yes, this might be referring to the fact that the slide in the castle is way, way too big to actually fit inside of the castle.
I mean,
I don't know.
True.
It's a video game. It doesn't have to really make that much sense.
Yeah.
Like, Mario goes in the paintings and stuff and no one questions it.
Yeah, no one questions anything.
Fortress interior.
It's like, makes no sense.
Fortresses are usually built in order to protect things, but you can't go inside of Whomp's Fortress.
Yeah, you can.
The Japanese name is essentially the same, but it could be read as Whomp King's Fortress or Castle.
Yeah.
But, like, they probably just named it that after they built the level.
Yeah.
In Galaxy 2, you actually can enter the center in order to fight King Whomp. Side note, but if you want a ROM hack that lets you play a reimagined version of Whomp's Fortress, and that lets you go inside of the fortress, play Whomp's Castle by Phileg.
Oh yeah,
the end
ROM hack.
I've heard a few people say that the perspective on the end cake screen looks kind of weird.
It does.
And I can't deny that in the background, if you look closely, there's some
a weird
thing
face.
that kind of
looks
like
a weird face.
Weird Yoshi.
Yeah, that's a weird
Rainbow
face.
Rides Village. Super Smash Bros. Melee has a recreation of Rainbow Ride from Mario 64.
Yeah, it does.
And in the background,
you can see Village.
Tiny little
Isn't there Village in the original game though?
In Mario 64.
No, there isn't.
Yoshi commits suicide.
What?
After collecting 120 stars and getting up on top of the castle, you can talk to Yoshi. He will give you 99 lives and jump into the horizon.
Why?
Some people interpret it as him committing suicide. Removed courses. A total of 32 levels were planned for the game, but there are only 15 main courses, as well as 8 other levels, making that 23 levels in total.
And then there's extra shot courses.
Secret laugh. In Big Boo's haunt, you can sometimes hear a lower-pitched version of the boo laugh used in the game.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Ooh, that's scary.
120 has spiritual significance.
Okay, this one has 0%, so let's hear his just thrown out there, like, thing.
Apparently, the number 120 is something called an angel number.
It is.
And whenever it shows up in your life, it serves as a message from angels that it's time to take initiative in a creative undertaking or something. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. I have no fucking idea what this means.
Yeah,
you can assign meaning
like,
to any numbers that you want.
You literally can. It's like
is not unique.
It's like maybe they just chose 120 because that's the number that they put there. Like there's probably no outside force that they were like, this number means this. Let's put 120 because of this. It's probably just a number they thought up of, being like, 120 seems like a good number to have the amount of stars to be.
Disregard. So I mean. Sure, I guess 120 has spiritual significance, but spoiler alert, I don't really believe it.
Yeah, I don't believe that.
Cold crevice.
However, this one is
cool mountain.
Yeah.
That refers to a place
cold
crevice down
below.
This doesn't really mean anything, and it's just a nice little bit of alliteration.
Yep.
Moving
Cold crevice.
Mario 64 is Freemason initiation.
Oh, come on. Come on. Are you literally going to tell me right now that everyone that's playing Mario 64 is literally playing the Freemason initiation? Bruh.
The game begins in a Masonic Hall, where there is a checkerboard floor, symbolic of the world of polarized opposites. The physical world on which the ritual is based. There's also a solar disc, red carpet, and the hall is 3 layers.
No.
The coins in the game are actually pentacles.
Oh my god.
The coins from tarot and occult symbolism. In this game, you play the role of a Mercury-type character.
Can we just move on here? I don't believe this.
The thread goes on to basically describe a bunch of shit that is, you can kind of link it to Freemasonry.
Yeah,
But I mean...
I don't believe it.
Like, come on.
It's a fucking game.
Come on, dude.
Yeah, come on.
Bowser got into the castle with his sub. In Dire Docks, there's this hole that leads to the outside of the castle, which some people have theorized is how Bowser got his submarine in there. Big Boo's Haunt Forest. When Mario enters Big Boo's Haunt, he's actually entering into that little cage that comes out of the Big Boo in the courtyard.
Yes.
So why does it change from a regular sunny day to a nighttime forest?
Well,
my theory for this is that since he's shrunk down to the size of the cage, the blades of grass around him and sticks and stuff look like a forest to him.
Interesting.
That doesn't really explain why it's suddenly nighttime.
Yeah, it doesn't explain it, but
no theory is perfect.
It's a video game. It's a video game. You don't question video game logic, okay? You know?
Original resolution textures.
Oh.
Mario 64 textures are at their biggest
32 by 32.
32 by 64.
Very small.
Wide, which is tiny in comparison to the textures that are used in video games
and Smash Ultimate
today. Now, it is entirely possible that Nintendo may have created their own textures from scratch, but they could have also used textures that used to be much higher resolution before crunching
I believe it.
On the
I believe it.
Cartridge.
I believe it.
It seems that we might never actually know what these original textures.
Yeah, I believe it. I believe that they had to like crunch down the stuff just because of the limitations of the Nintendo 64. We're getting down to below the bottom of the iceberg now. Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. We're getting a couple of them. Wario Apparition, The Forbidden Door, the Cho production, the July 29, 1995 build, the entrance room is the sewer, Chorus in the Bowser painting, what level of negative emotional aura, Peaches behind the stained glass window, Bowser book door, the ED compilation of Censored, and a bunch of other shit. Crazy shit.
Ally with info.
Oh.
A toad on the upper floor of the castle says,
Yeah?
"Here, let me tell you a little something about the castle. In the room with the mirrors, look carefully for anything that's not reflected in the mirror." But in the DS version, they changed the end of that line to say, "Look carefully for anything that's not reflected in the mirror." And an ally with info. I think this is a vague hint that you need to use the power flower in order to pass through the mirror. And I guess in the Mario universe, it wouldn't be too unreasonable that a toad would consider a flower to be an ally of his.
Yeah, I mean, true.
I would have said that the toad is referring to Wario, since you need to enter the mirror to access the level where he's in
Also
prison.
true.
But the toad will still repeat the ally with info line if you're playing as Wario.
Also true.
The toads have unique dialogue that depends on which character you're using.
It does, yeah.
So it's not like they just copied over the dialogue they used for Mario.
It's like, I don't know.
It was an intentional thing that they left in.
Yeah, intentional
Metal
development.
Mario texture.
What?
Initially, I wasn't sure what the Metal Mario texture could be.
What is
but
that?
eCumber on Twitter made an amazing discovery about the origin of this texture.
Yeah, what is it?
Please give them a follow, because this part of the video wouldn't exist without.
Wait, what is the texture?
Basically, eCumber
So just on the original image use of Memo's...
was looking through a dump from a Silicon Graphics indie, which was a workstation that was used at the time.
Yeah?
And they found this image.
Ooh.
If you flip the image upside down and squish it down to be 64 by 32 pixels, it's almost an exact match for the Metal Mario texture.
Maybe that
used in
is
the
the
game.
texture.
Wet Dry World, negative emotional aura.
What?
Okay. This one is one that I feel very strongly about. Because for some reason, whenever I play Mario 64, I just kind of want to stop when I hit Wet Dry World.
I mean, it kind of has that feeling of like,
it's just such a weird feeling level.
It just feels out of place.
Almost claustrophobic.
Yeah, it feels out of place.
So, Wet Dry World is
like,
composed of two different parts. The main part where you are raising and lowering the water level, and there's like secrets and stuff.
Yeah, and then the other part where there's a town.
Little enemies running around that like flip you around and stuff. And there's the little town part.
Yeah,
now, as a kid,
weird.
I don't think I ever actually got to access the town without like looking it up. And even today, it's like kind of weird and cumbersome.
It's like,
because you have to raise the water level, lower the water level, blah blah blah.
Yeah, it's like,
and
you have to do all this shit just to get
town,
to.
You can't really get out, and it's all like
it's all enclosed.
So
it's like
feels,
kind of
again claustrophobic.
Yeah, I get that.
And there's just I don't know. It just feels.
It's just that there's something weird about it. There's something weird going on there.
It feels like there's a negative emotional.
There's something weird going on there. There's something
really
weird going on.
I guess maybe the music, combined with the very dull visuals, combined with the weird skybox, and the feeling of being.
There's something weird going on.
I don't. It just feels so weird.
Yeah, there is something weird going on.
Like, I'm very glad that at least one other person in the world feels this way about Wet Dry World, because it's a weird level. Peach is behind the stained glass window.
Okay.
The stained glass painting at the front of the castle is certainly iconic.
It's not a painting,
Once you
it's a
go
window.
inside, you'll notice that the texture that they use for the interior version is actually slightly different. So, there's the belief that this isn't actually a window with just two sides. There's a little tiny area inside there. And at the very end of the game, when Peach finally spawns in front of the castle, there's the belief that she was actually behind the stained glass the whole time.
I mean,
it makes sense.
It does make sense.
The context of Mario 64, the whole game you're entering.
Yeah, it does make sense that she's behind that painting.
Well, it's not a painting; it's a piece of art.
Makes sense.
So, Peach being trapped inside there thematically would make sense.
Yeah, that's one of the few things that actually do make sense.
Toad's literally trapped inside the walls.
What?
A few Toads in the game verbatim say the lines, "We're trapped inside the castle walls," or "The princess is trapped somewhere in the walls."
Yeah.
Even Bowser in the final fight
all trapped within
says
the walls.
that your friends are trapped in the walls. Again, this might just be a figurative thing.
Yeah, being trapped within these walls is figurative. It just means that they're trapped in the castle. So, I don't know where people are getting this thing where, like, the Toads are literally trapped in the walls, but the saying trapped within the walls is a figurative of speech, meaning that they're just trapped in the castle. So, like, debunked just like that, you know?
But what's more interesting to me is, I'm sure most of you know this, that the first Super Mario Brothers game,
Yeah?
Bowser turns Toads into bricks, and, you know, when Mario smashes the bricks, people think that, oh, he's murdering them, but no, he's just freeing them from the bricks or something. The point is, I would like to believe that if you were to take this line literally, Bowser has again turned the Toads into bricks, and they are literally part of the walls now.
Yeah. Bowser send them into
Hazy
bricks.
Maze Cave is the castle's septic system.
HMC entrance room
This
is
is
the
kind
sewer.
of just a meme. The Hazy Maze Cave room, you could interpret it as a fucking toilet.
You could really,
the walls are like pipes there.
Yeah,
it's kind of gross, I guess. There's this image, which I hate looking at it. But
yeah, can you get me out of here?
At it too.
Can you get me out of here? I don't like it.
Bowser broke the door.
Oh, Bowser broke the door.
The door that leads out of the castle courtyard has a layer of bricks around it, which could imply that they had to be placed there after the door had been broken through, as they mismatch the colors of the rest of the wall.
That's lore.
The possible hole that these bricks are filling is suspiciously Bowser-sized.
Yep.
Forbidden door.
The forbidden door.
Possibly just the one in the mirror room again. I think I've talked about that door like 3 times so far.
You have, yeah.
Wiggler's body parts are used in the Bowser fights.
Huh?
The yellow spheres that border the Bowser arenas look very similar to the ones that make up
Wiggler's
body. However, if you replace the texture that Wiggler uses for his body, the spheres around the Bowser arena won't change, and vice versa.
So,
meaning that they're not actually using Wiggler's body parts.
Yeah, it's just
Full Omen Archives.
Full Omen Archives.
It's time for a bit of a history lesson here, so bear with me.
Yeah?
In 1993, Silicon Graphics signed a deal with Nintendo to produce the GPU used in the Nintendo 64.
Okay.
Silicon Graphics also developed MIPS, standing for Microprocessor Without Interlocked Pipeline Stages.
Okay.
Which is where MIPS the rabbit in Mario 64 gets
his name from. Yeah.
The Omen Archive was a leak of Nintendo technical documents, which was perpetrated by a Silicon Graphics employee. The archive was a .rar file that was uploaded to the internet in 1999 to omen.rar.
Yeah.
Even the reason it's called Omen is unknown, but in short, this is the reason early Nintendo 64 emulation was able to exist. However, since these resources were obtained illegally, any emulator developer looking to use the Omen resources is liable to be sued due to using these illegally obtained materials.
Bruh, wow.
I'm no expert on the subject, so I implore you to do your own research on this topic, but that's basically a short
So that's literally just like N64 emulation stuff. That people could use to make their own emulations, like emulators. Bruh.
Of the Omen Archives. The June 29th, 1990.
Ow. I've talked about this build so many times. Let's hear what his explanation is.
Build. This was apparently a beta build of the game, which had a glitch where textures would rapidly flash, possibly causing seizures. There is very little information on this build of the game, if it exists at all. The first time the public laid eyes on Mario 64 was in November of 1995, months after the supposed June 29th build. Ironically, the circulation of this Iceberg image has filled all the search results of this build with more fan-made stuff than any actual evidence of this build's existence.
In the
so
Mario
for the
64
time being, I'm
stuff.
going to say that this build isn't real.
It's not.
I should mention that from this point forward, a lot of the content on this Iceberg is mostly
every copy of Mario 64 is personalized.
Made up for the sake of being creepy or mysterious. Now, I'm all in favor of shitposting for the sake of perpetuating creepy myths, but the purpose of this video is to be educational about Mario 64.
Yeah?
So I'll mostly be skipping over the bullshit ones.
Oh, come
Mario
on.
64 is definitely personalized, though. That one is 100% true.
What?
The Wario apparition.
Again. This one is everywhere.
Okay. I love the Wario apparition as much as
I do too.
Guy, but
it's not real.
Not an actual thing that happened.
It's not real.
This image on the side of the iceberg only exists because of a 1996 Nintendo E3 contest in which Wario's face is superimposed on top of Mario 64, where he insults the game in true Wario fashion.
You want fun? Wario should be fun.
Who would buy stuff like this anyway? What? You think this is fun? You gotta be cuckoo crazy.
Oh?
You want fun?
Wario show you fun.
However, because of this line, the Wario apparition, there have been a bunch of fan
so many like
around the internet.
Yeah, so many Wario apparition
weird,
stuff.
Creepy Wario and Mario 64
Yeah, it's like,
things. It's really great. I'll link a few in the description.
Yeah, they're cool. Yeah.
Toad projection.
Toad
I
projection.
couldn't find any information for this one, but my best guess would be that sometimes in the castle you can get the camera to misbehave, and you can see objects standing in an empty black void. I know for a fact that this works with the star doors, and I couldn't get it to work with Toad, but they're also objects, so in theory they should work.
Yeah,
the Bowser Room.
Bowser Room.
This is an edited image by Chris O'Neill of Oni Plays.
Yeah.
I don't really watch Oni Plays, but there's some episode where they just talk about making this image back in the day. Nothing about it is real.
Yeah,
so
it's
let's
not
just
real.
Move on. Brain diagram.
Huh?
Allegedly, there's some brain diagram hidden in the assets of Wet Dry World,
I don't
or
believe
possibly some other stage.
I don't
but
believe it.
I could find no tangible evidence.
Yeah,
of
I don't
this,
believe
and
it.
honestly, I've looked through all the textures of Mario 64 more times than I'm willing to admit, and there is
I
no
don't
brain
fucking believe
diagram that I know of.
I don't
Horse
fucking
in the
believe it.
Bowser painting. There are several paintings of Bowser and Peach throughout the castle,
Yeah?
and there's some of the There are several paintings of
Wait, what did you say?
brain diagram that I know of. Course in the Bowser painting.
Course in the Bowser
several
painting.
paintings of Bowser and Peach throughout the castle, and there are some of the
Yes.
few paintings that you can't enter.
Yeah.
Of course, Bowser has 3 different levels to his name, but I guess that brings up the question. Which level would you enter if you could hop into the Bowser painting?
Yeah, which one?
In the original, the background used is completely black, but in the DS version, it has sort of a greenish-gray background, which matches up most closely with the Bowser in the Dark World.
Yeah, which matches with Dark
I guess
World.
it's fitting, since you first see the Bowser painting right before you're thrown into the Dark World.
Oh, here we go.
Delicious cake. A string of text in the Japanese version just says delicious cake, and it's located in between names for the secret aquarium
Delicious
and the
cake.
castle secret stars. The only guess I could make is that the developers intended for there to be actual lines of text on the end cake screen,
and then kill
put
them all.
delicious cake there as a placeholder, decided not to enable the text, and just left the delicious cake string unedited, which honestly wouldn't be too out of the question.
Yeah, that's...
Internal plexus of the castle. The exterior of Peach's castle is actually way too small to contain the maps they were able to explore inside. This is standard video game stuff, and this video by Skybox illustrates this pretty well.
Yeah, it's just
this also relates to the secret slide
condensed.
dimensional rift thing that I mentioned earlier in the video.
Yeah, it's just condensed.
NFR cartridge differences.
What?
NFR cartridges, meaning not for resale, were copies that were sent out to stores so that customers could view or even play demos of them in the store.
Basically kiosk demos, okay.
Some NFR carts were specifically made so that you'd be locked out of certain areas.
Yeah, that's kiosk
Or they may have even
carts.
contained content that didn't make it into the final game.
Yeah, like
However,
content.
the NFR cartridge for Mario 64 has no differences than the one that was actually released, aside from the not for resale label on the cartridge.
That's weird.
Miyamoto stole Mario 64 from Argonaut.
I don't know what Argonaut is.
Games was a British development studio that worked with Nintendo in the SNES era, and their most famous game was probably Star Fox.
Yeah.
In an interview with Eurogamer, Jez San, the founder of Argonaut, revealed that they had pitched a Yoshi game to Nintendo, which would have apparently been the world's first 3D platformer. Nintendo didn't want to take such a big risk with an outside company using their pre-existing characters, and the 3D Yoshi game never ended up being made. However, it did get repurposed to become Croc, which was released on the PS1 and Sega Saturn. San then went on to say in the same interview, quote, Miyamoto went on to make Mario 64, which had the look and feel of our Yoshi game, but with the Mario character, of course, and beat Croc to the market by around a year. Miyamoto came up to me at a show afterwards, and apologized for not doing the Yoshi game with us, and thanked us for the idea to do a 3D platform game. The thing is, though, I don't believe that Miyamoto completely stole the idea for a 3D platformer.
I don't believe that too, but
have been moving towards 3D at a gradual pace.
I do believe that he had some inspiration from it, but I don't believe he just full-on stole the idea. I believe that he had an inspiration.
And it makes complete sense that Nintendo would release a Mario game to help launch their new console.
Yeah, I believe that he had an
went on
inspiration.
in the interview about some other stuff Nintendo did, and I won't deny that Nintendo definitely fucked Argonaut over in the end.
They did.
But again, I wouldn't claim that Mario 64 was outright stolen from them.
Yeah, that's what I
Shared
said.
nightmares. I'll leave you with a more thought-provoking one for last.
What?
Super
shared
Mario
nightmares.
64 was many people's first experience with a fully 3D game.
Yes.
And of course many people played it when they were kids.
Yeah.
That also means it would naturally pop up into people's dreams over time as well.
Yeah.
There are a select few moments in this game that stand out to many people as
The
being
piano.
creepy, intentional or not.
Yeah, the piano.
The mad piano, the giant eel, the infinite staircase. I've even heard a couple people were afraid of the chain chomp when they were younger. When a game as open-ended and expansive as Mario 64, for the time, it's no wonder that a lot of people would end up having similar dreams about it.
Yeah.
Here's another thing that isn't really related to dreams, but I found interesting anyway.
What?
In your mind, I want you to picture Mario running around in
Okay.
Super Mario 64.
Okay.
Now, did you imagine Mario falling into a pit?
No.
Allegedly, it's hard for people to separate the two things, almost as if Mario can't exist in your mind without having him fall into a pit. The reasons
I'll
for
just
this
watch
are
him run around in a circle.
seemingly obvious. Many of us probably have a fair share of memories from falling off courses like Rainbow Ride, and Mario's scream when he's falling is probably burned into your brain right
It's
now.
obvious, yeah.
Still, it's a fun little thought experiment to try out. So, you've made it to the end of the video.
I did.
I know it was a long one,
Yeah, I did.
but I hope you learned something new. You did stick around until the
It
end,
was a long
so
one,
it clearly
yeah.
interested you. I could go on with the repetitive YouTuber outros like this video was really hard to make, or please like and subscribe, but this video's gone on long enough. I do genuinely appreciate any support you'd be willing to give on this video, and honestly, I had a lot of fun making it.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun watching this video, to be honest. It was really eye-opening to see all the different kind of, things going on here and the shit that happens there in Brugg. But, yeah. That's gonna be for me in this video. It's currently 9:39 p.m. here, so probably gonna upload some videos and then fuck off to bed. So, yeah, good night, I guess. I'll see all of you